Hello everybody and welcome back to your 10 Minutes of Eve. I'm Casuality, and if you like this format and its content, please remember to leave a like and subscribe. And I'm very curious whether I will be able to stick to the 10 minutes for the first time. Last time we looked at skill training. For today's episode, I initially planned to talk about the first of the available careers in Eve. However, when thinking about it, I realized that most activities in Eve, being a space MMO, require you to fit and fly a ship, and therefore a few words about that topic should come first and would also connect well to the last episode. So if you want to leave a station, whether it's a player-owned one like this or another, and go adventuring, you need both a ship and equipment, and both need respective skills to use. In the end, choice of ship and equipment depend on what you want to do. After a few months or even years of skill training, you can pretty much do what you want, even though surely not everything equally well. But at the beginning of your journey, it is pretty much the other way around. You can almost do nothing because you lack a lot of skills, and therefore you need to decide on your first steps, skill up accordingly, and then look for the right hardware for the job. If you complete the career agents missions, as I recommended in one of the prior episodes, you will have the basic skills and equipment to do level 1 missions for other NPC agents. Suck some ore out of asteroids, do some very basic production, or scan down the easiest signatures. But you will surely outgrow that level of proficiency fast and need to prepare for better ships and equipment. And there are lots of both. So for example, here's the ship tree just for the Caldari state, showing you your beginner ship, shuttles, frigates, faction frigates, Tech 2 specialized frigates, all kind of destroyers, cruisers, navy cruisers, Tech 2 cruisers, Tech 3 cruisers, battle cruisers and command ships, transport ships, freighters, jump freighters, battleships and Tech 2 battleships, and here the capital ships, dreadnoughts, carriers, and the Titan, the biggest ship in the game. And that, you have smaller or equally big ship trees for all four factions, and then smaller ship trees for other factions, including the pirates and their specialized ships. Oh, difficult word. Specialized. Okay. And equipment you can find in the market. There you have thousands of items here in the submenus of the ship equipment tree alone. When it comes to ships, my recommendation is simple. Start small. It doesn't make much sense to skill into flying battleships, even though you can. Even as an alpha, you will find the required skill in the spaceship command subcategory, and as you can see, you can train up battleships of all four factions. But it doesn't make much sense because starting you will not have enough ISK to buy one, and you will not be able to accept missions you would need a battleship for. The only reason to buy one would be to take part in difficult events, but they are not available the whole year round. In this subcategory you can find ship-related skills for all ship categories available in Eve, which is quite a lot. After the career agents, you will have the basic skills to fly frigates and destroyers of your starting faction, as well as your faction's industrial ships and mining frigate. Yeah, the skill is at least available and a little bit trained already. The industrial, so this character started as Galanti and trained up to Caldari. Or it was rather the other way around, he was Caldari, and because I like the Galanti industrials, I spent an additional skill training here. So, you will have those skills in the beginning, and I suggest that you stick to that at the beginning and improve the skills required for those ships before branching out. It will cost you only a few days to maximize frigate or destroyer skills, and as you can see, I haven't even done that. If you want to go into mission running first, you can of course skip mining frigates and go straight to the respective cruiser skill, for which you only need level 3 in the next lower tier, in this case destroyer, and this sets you up for level 1 and level 2 mission running. Besides spaceship command, you should also take a look at the navigation skills. The skills listed here will improve the maneuverability, speed, general performance of every ship, or afterburner and micro warp drive use, which are very useful propulsion modules you can fit and which are useful for most ships you will want to fly. When it comes to equipment, you can further differentiate into general fitting skills and equipment-specific fitting skills. General fitting skills improve the abilities and resources of every ship, like the amount of CPU, power grid, and capacitor available, or will reduce the demands of modules for those resources. You will find most of them in the engineering subcategory, but also in one of or two of the others you will find specific skills which influence the resources available on your ship. In the long or rather medium run, you will want to bring up at least CPU management, power grid management, and the capacitor skills up to the maximum of 4 and 5, or 5 as an omega. But at least for the beginning in your career, you will not need perfect skills, but sooner or later you will want them. You can further break down equipment into 4 categories. Modules are fitted into the high, medium, and low power slots, which every ship has to offer. And you can also count the rigs to modules, or count them as a separate category. Rigs are special in a way because you cannot unfit them without destroying them, much like implants. Then you have charges. They are the ammunition for some modules, which is a no-brainer for most of the weapons, but there are also other systems like probe launchers or computers which use special charges. And the modules will either not work without charges at all or have other effects. Then you have drones, which are their own subcategory, even though you could consider them weapons like the high slot modules. But as you can see, they have their own storage room, the so-called drone bay. And not every ship has such a bay. And last but not least, there are some items which you will have to use from your ship's cargo bay, like a mobile tractor unit, nanite repair paste, and so on, but these are specific and advanced stuff and will not be covered right now. Regarding modules, charge, and drones, I recommend to focus on one group of offensive and defensive modules in the beginning and to bring that up to a satisfactory level of proficiency before you move on to the next category. When using a mining or exploration frigate, for example, you do not need to worry about weapon skills because you will not fight, but you may want to invest in drones for some self-defense. When flying a combat ship, on the other hand, you would first look at the bonuses your ship has to offer and then decide to fit offensive and defensive modules which make use of those bonuses. And if a ship does not offer bonuses, you could, as a first hint, look at the amount of available slots in the medium and low. And because generally speaking, a ship which has more mid slots than low slots is better suited for a shield tank. As you can see, shield modules require mid slots, while a ship which has more low slots is better suited for a so-called armor tank, because armor modules are fitted in the low slots. There's a lot more to consider when fitting a ship than just skills required to use the modules you want, and therefore in the next episode we will look at some example fittings and I will explain some of the other factors along the way. Until then, you may want to play around with the fitting simulation. As you have seen, I've opened the fitting window here and you can simulate your fitting here. Then you can pick from all the hulls, meaning the naked ships existing, even if you cannot fly them, doesn't matter. Then switch to hardware and go on and fit your ship to your heart's desire. So until the next episode, you may want to play around with this fitting simulation to get a feeling for what is out there. I hope you enjoyed today's episode, which is only a little bit above the 10-minute mark, so I'm improving here, and I would be happy to see you again next time.